Alright, let's get set up here. Completely forgot to pull up chat on my phone. Do this every time. Okay. Chat. Chat the cat. Alright, chat is up on my phone. Hello. Oh my god. Party hat has made it. Guys, this is insane. This is the first stream in so long that Party Hat has been here. Wow. How you guys doing? Just getting this set up. Ard, you would be happy to know that there is a cat in my room as we speak. Live ranking every Fnaf theory part 4. Alright. Let me see if I can... I don't know where she went. She's right here. You want to come say hi? Come here. She doesn't want to say hi. Come here. Come here, baby. Come. No, not that way. I don't know. Oh well. Well, if Caroline jumps on the bed, we'll get to see her. Let's continue the tier list. My hair is chopped because I just got out of the shower. I didn't really brush it. Is the audio too loud? Like the music? It feels loud, but I like it, so. Alright. I don't know why my phone turned off. Hickey. We will get her up here. Come here. Come here. Okay. That should be better. That should be better. Come here. All right, I gotta get into this. I'm losing myself. I'm sure I'm losing you guys too. Where we last left off, she's climbing on my Xbox. We're done for. Yeah. Whoops, that's the wrong screen. Where we last left off was all of these. Wonder if they added any new ones. They did. Oh my god. They added so many more. Ah! We're never gonna finish this. Dude, we left off like here. Dude, they added so many more. God. Oh my god. Dude, okay, well, let's just get into it. I'm turning that off. Dude, they added so many more. TikTok. Okay, both cats are in my room now. Alleyway FFPS. This is the theory. Speedrun all of them. Yeah, we'll try. Nah, I don't know. Okay, this is new. I don't remember seeing that. God. Alright, Alleyway FFPS. This is the... Hi, Ty. Hi, Ty. Doritos. Alright, this is the theory that the poster in the alleyway of FNAF 6 doesn't represent the Aftons, and instead just represents the salvage animatronics. Obviously, there's a bear, a clown. That's about it. Obviously, the Puppet Master is Scrap Trap, William Afton. And Lefty is represented by the puppet because the puppet is inside of him. I don't know. I mean, it makes sense, but I think the alleyway being the Aftons makes a little more sense. Maybe. Yeah, I'll put them there. Also, no, hang on. I want to get something playing in the background. Alright. Andrew Fifth. Debunked. Into the Pit shows 6 victims. And we know, thanks to the guidebooks, that the 5th name is Cassidy. 2 vans. That one's not new. I just haven't gotten to it yet. Arnold being Cassie's dad. No. Same. These 2 are basically the same. I don't think Arnold is related to Cassie in any way. Scurdy hat. I haven't found the E yet. Still. I don't like these theories. I don't think they're debunked. But, like, the timeline just wouldn't work up with them. So, very unlikely. Yeah. We seem pretty agreed that those aren't canon. Arnold lives. I don't know what that image is showing. Hang on. Whoops. I forgot I had caps lock on. Oh, okay. It's the theory that he just lives past Secret of the Mimic. I wish Arnold lived. I wish he did. But it looks pretty likely that the normal parachute.exe ending is the canon ending. Unfortunately. So I'm going to put this in very unlikely. Probably like there. I wish Arnold lived. And I'm still... What are you doing? Get out of the box. I wish Arnold lived, and we'll leave it at that. The cats are playing in a box I got for Christmas. What the hell? Here, you know what? There goes my phone. Look at this. Look at this. What are they doing? What are you 2 doing? Roxy. Caroline. They're pretending not to hear me. Oops. Alright, well, that completely messed up my setup. Let them be. I couldn't even stop them if I wanted to. Oh god, that completely messed up my camera. Whoops. Whoops. Okay, that's good enough. We're crooked now. It's slowly... Yeah, clip that. This works, I guess. I don't know. I feel small now. Alright, well, I'll fix my posture. Princess Avatar, that one is not new. Just haven't gotten to it yet. It's right there. Baby Scandal. I have no idea what that one is. Stop! Stop! Stop falling! How did the calculator get open? What if we just left it like this for the rest of the stream? Hang on, I'm propping my phone up so it doesn't fall. Stop falling! Oh my god. Yeah, give me 10 minutes, I'll fix this. Dude, stop! Stop! I don't want you there! I want you there! Stop! You're... Yeah, rip camera. I'm gonna throw this thing in the garbage. It's crooked. That's good enough. That's good enough. Calculator jump scare. Yeah, okay. As I was... How did a new... Okay. Baby Scandal theory. No, not actual babies. God... Ah! Okay. It's the theory that Henry Emily, or the Fazbear Entertainment Board of Directors... Okay, this feels too loud now. It's fine. It's the theory that the Board of Directors reprogrammed Baby with a child counting function and disabled the emergency stop to kill Elizabeth. Yeah, you got a new photo for TikTok? Yeah. Okay, it's under Evil Henry. We can just put this next to it then. This one's very unlikely. Very unlikely. I don't think anyone was behind Like, I don't think it was a scandal. Obviously, someone was behind it. BB Location 0. This is the theory that Balloon Boy was at the first Freddy Fazbear's. I don't hate that theory, and I actually do kind of wish it was true. But we've kind of seen Into the Pit didn't have him, so I think it's debunked, unfortunately. I'll just put it there. Bite Both. This is stupid. Blob Edwin. No. No. Very unlikely. Remember, this isn't in any order. I'm just throwing these wherever I put them. Blonde Afton. This is the theory that the blonde boy from the movies is an Afton. I think in one of, like, the behind-the-scenes photos, Michael is wearing, like, the same shirt as the blonde kid. And the blonde kid draws the same spring Bonnie in the sand that Vanessa does in one of the family photos. Nah, no way. I'm not saying William Afton would be opposed to killing his own kid, but I don't think that's... No. No. Oops, not full screen. Gotta keep doing that. Alright. Who do we think the blonde boy from the movies is? Who do we think? What are these theories? I have no idea. Actually, most of them make sense, I'd say. Most of them. I'm sorry. There's no way we haven't covered all the missing children kids with these Midnight Motorist theories. Yeah, we have. Actually, there's no Jeremy, I don't think. Thank God. No, it's not. Ard, I'm gonna smack you. We think it's Cassidy? I don't think so. The script does call him Cassidy. I will say that. Not the script, but like the script that the actor was given. It does call him Cassidy. But the books have... It's 3 words. The books have Cassidy as a girl. So I don't know. Neither does he. I'll tell you who I don't think it is. I don't think it's Bite Victim. I also don't think it's Andrew. See, the thing is, the blonde kid isn't vengeful, it doesn't seem. He doesn't seem to be vengeful like Andrew is. He seems more in line with Cassidy, with, like, their sense of justice. So I don't think it's Andrew. I don't think it's Michael Brooks. Cassidy makes the most sense. But then you get into, like, the whole issue of, like, her gender changing across continuities when no one else in the series does that. That I can think of. Yeah, Andrew or Cassidy. So I'm just gonna put these, like, all in 50-50. Because I couldn't tell you. And now that they've moved on at the end of the second movie, spoilers, I don't think we're gonna get the answer. Blonde Boy being the vengeful spirit, there's no indication he exists in the games. In the movies, maybe he's the vengeful spirit, but probably not. Not the games, though. Alright. BV born 76. You know, guys, if you reverse this theory, you get 6-7. 6-7. So this theory, the evidence for it is in Curse of Dreadbear. Also, I'm turning this off. I don't know. It feels too loud. The evidence for this theory is that the Curse of Dreadbear win room has a cake with 7 candles in it. Curse of Dreadbear is very bite victim themed, and it takes place in 1983. Doing the math gets you to get out, Unc. What are you guys saying? Oh, because I said 6-7. Yeah. God, chat is so delayed. My God. Completely derailed my train of thought. Yeah, because the cake has 7 candles, takes place in 1983. It's very bite victim related. If you do the math, that would put bite victim being born in 1976. Because, plus 7 gets you to 83. I do think this one is canon. I think bite victim being 7 works. Yeah, I think it works. He looks roughly around the same age as 7. I'm trying so hard not to make another 6-7 joke, guys. I'm sorry. I'm going to put this one in very... Not very likely. We really should have a tier between these. I'll put it close to confirmed. Because it does line up. Puppet victim's not new, just haven't gotten to it yet. Circus Baby's entertainment and rentals being underneath the Pizzaplex. Dude, ever since Secret of the Mimic came out, I don't know what's under that thing. I don't know what's under the Pizzaplex. Other than Fnaf 6. What do we make of this one, my chat? What do we make of this one? Because there is a scooper, and the hallway that Ruin ends in does look like the same hallway from Sister Location. Or it looks Sister Location-esque, kind of, with the fan. Nah. I don't know. Again, Secret of the Mimic really messed up a whole bunch of these theories for me. So I'm just going to put it in 50-50. Until we get, like, the Abyss game, I don't know. Charlie saved them. What? You live under it? I believe that. I believe that. I have no idea what this theory is. I can't spell. Oh, it's been nominated for removal from the wiki. What? Why was it deleted? What happened? Okay, it's the theory that the Save Them massacre was Charlie's attempt at killing all the parents by possessing Michael Afton. I think I see why that was deleted. I don't know why they... I don't think they should delete pages for theories. Even if they're stupid like that, they should still stay up. Very unlikely. I don't think it's debunked. Yeah, that's... I don't know. Hi, Joey. Alright, chat. Do we think Edwin is dead, or do we think he's alive? My God, why is the police so loud? In my humble, honest Bernie Bear opinion, I think Edwin lives. I think he survives after the events of Secret of the Mimic. This plays into the video I'm editing. I need a recap on Edwin. So basically, right, there's this guy. His name is Edwin. He made the Mimic. No, so Edwin's story ends, like it ends in the context of Secret of the Mimic, with the Mimic causing an explosion in Edwin's office that damages Edwin's legs, and the Mimic leaves Edwin to die, pretty much. Either Edwin lives or he survives. We don't see him at all in the game, which is telling, but I think some version of the storyteller happens in the games. So Edwin kind of has to be alive for that. So I'm going to put both of these in 50-50. up with the other divisive ones, like Midnight Motorist. Yeah, I personally think he's alive. Edwin is Deadwin. Dude, I'm pretty proud of that. Pretty proud of that quote, I think. Fan versus fiction. I'm assuming this is just like the fan games are fiction in the FNAF universe. Like, yeah, they exist as games within the main FNAF universe created by Fazbear Entertainment or the indie dev. That does line up with Security Breach. I don't see any reason why not. Plus, the movie has Candy and Popgo's arcade cabinets. So, it's not a bad theory at all. I just think it needs a little more evidence. But I like it. Follow me during Sister Location. This one is kind of impossible under Molten MCI. Freddy's pre-bite, I'm assuming, is the theory that Fredbear's was a Freddy's before the bite? Hang on. Or is it open? Okay, it's the theory that Fredbear's Family Diner and Freddy's coexisted. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's tricky, right? The masks don't need to exist. I don't know. Yeah, it did open 1983, but we don't know if it was before or after. Like, the masks and the plushies could just come from the TV show. Plus, the Freddy's gang existed already, pre-83, as we learned in Secret of the Mimic. So, it could go either way. I'm going to put it 50-50. Yeah, I'm going to put it 50-50, just because I'm not sure. I do think I do think they're open at the same time, but there's not really any evidence for or against it. Fritz, going with the others. Gabriel dreams. This is the theory that the FNAF 2 cutscenes, which are called dreams in the files, come from Gabriel. Like, they are what Gabriel is seeing as Freddy. I would put that in close to confirmed, honestly. I think Give Gifts, Give Life shows. I think the dreams are like a 3D version of Give Gifts, Give Life. Yeah. Yeah. That's about it. Gabriel victim? Nah. Give Gifts, Give Life Happiest Day, and Give Gifts, Give Life plushies. Uh-huh. Yeah, I know this one. Coupon theory, what? It's the theory that Give Gifts, Give Life is the puppet... Okay, so it's the, This one's the theory that Give Gifts, Give Life is a failed Happiest Day. I don't think it is, honestly. I have my own idea for what Gives Gifts, Give Life is. I don't think it's that. And then plushies, I don't know what this is. Hi, iDick. What if the gifts the puppet gave out were blood? Okay, so it's like Shatter Victim, but instead of like the crying child's soul, it's like actual plushies that contain his soul. I don't know. I feel like it's just easier if you say it's his soul. Glamrock Fredbear. This is the theory that Glamrock Freddy is actually Glamrock Fredbear. Once you upgrade Freddy with Chica's voice box, his bow tie turns purple. And also, all of the neon art of Glamrock Freddy in the Pizzaplex is yellow instead of brown. Not a bad theory. I just don't see what the point of it would be. I'll put it like 50-50 because there's evidence for it, but it doesn't impact anything. Henry dreams? No, I don't think so. I think it's just we're seeing what Gabriel sees. MCM being under the Pizzaplex. I don't know. I'm putting this in 50-50 with Sister Location. Secret of the Mimic really messed it up for me. Where did I put it? Where did I put it? Oh, right there. Yeah, I don't know anymore. Mangle being at location 0, I would say is debunked because she's a toy animatronic. Mike Dreams, no. Mimic line reboot. This is the theory that only the stories from Tales from the Pizzaplex that involve the Mimic are canon to the games, but they're being rebooted. So, you know, the Mimic story was rebooted with Secret of the Mimic. Kind of the same with Storyteller, too. If we got, like, a GGY game, for example, that would reboot the GGY story from Tales. I partially believe this. Like, I don't... I don't know. It's tricky with the books. A big part of me does still think they're canon, but I don't know. 50-50. Molten MCI Alter M. I don't even care to learn what that one is. Eleanor being Mrs. Afton. There is zero evidence for that. Mrs. Afton being the orange guy in Midnight Motorist. I think we can say that's debunked by 5 Laps at Freddy's. Mrs. Afton being under the mound, I would say that's a pretty good interpretation. We'll put that next to BV Mound. Only 5 Tales from the Pizzaplex stories. It's more than I've read. Alright, and now we are caught up. Paper Jackie. This is the theory that Jackie... Also, I'm fiddling with the Mimic. I have no idea why. I'm fidgeting with him. Jackie is the third paper pal from Fnaf 2. This theory came out when we all thought Jackie was going to be a lot more important in Secret of the Mimic. Now she's like... She's just another costume that gets worn. Oh, the kitty's playing with her toy. Yeah, I would say this one's very unlikely. Before the game came out... Yeah, Eleanor's not Mrs. Afton. Before the game came out, this theory was pretty decent, but now it doesn't really have any weight. Parachute canon ending. Yeah. Where's the Storyteller ending? Storytime ending. Am I blind? Where is it? Why? Okay, why do they have a theory that says that the parachute ending is the canon one, but not the Storytime ending? That is silly. Well, we know what the next theory they're going to add is. It's kind of insane how many theories there are that are saying, I solved Midnight Motorist. I was going to make one of those again. Not again. I was going to make one of those, but I decided against it. I do think this one's close to confirmed. We never see Midnight... God damn. We never see MCM again in the timeline. Plus, if it burns down, that makes it easy to build Fredbear's, the Pizzaplex, whatever, on it. The only part about the parachute ending not being... The only thing that makes me a little hesitant from believing it is that Edwin's house burns down. Whereas I'm a firm believer that his house becomes the Afton household. So that's a little bit of an issue, but I think overall there is more evidence for the parachute ending. Poor Arnold. Phantom Agony. Alright, now we get into the Phantoms. This is the theory that the Phantom animatronics are agony caused by Springtrap. And then ghosts are that they're the ghosts of the missing children incident victims. And then hallucinations is that they're just hallucinations had by the protagonist caused by the faulty wiring, or whatever Phone Dude says. I don't think they're ghosts. I do think they're either agony or hallucinations. It's Phantom Foxy Kills Everyone remake. If I had my Phantom Foxy plush, I would do that right now. It's currently buried with the rest. Also, the FNAF 1 main menu theme is copyrighted, so I can't play that, unfortunately. Yeah, definitely, they're not ghosts. I feel like it's a mix of both, honestly. What we found supports them being Agony, but Dead by Daylight doesn't show Springtrap using them in any way. So, I find it. Damn. Okay, calm down, calm down. Here, you know what? I don't know where Foxy is, but Balloon Boy. Don't ask why I keep my tags on. Chopped ass plushie. I don't know. I'm just gonna put these in 50-50. Look, we still got a lot more theories, okay? Yeah, I don't know. I wish what we found was a little more definitive with the Phantoms. Where did I put that? Right there. Oh, what's next? Phone Dude CEO. There's like zero evidence for that. Phone Ralph. This is the theory that Ralph possesses the phone. I don't think so. I think Ralph just once he found out his daughter was going to be safe, I think he just moved on. I don't think he's tethered to anything like the missing children. So I'm going to put this in very unlikely. Doesn't really have that much evidence, if any, actually. I'm kind of curious what the evidence is for that. Evidence. Oh yeah, the distorted phone call. He's an enemy in UCN, yeah. Yeah, if anything, it's infected by his agony. I don't think it's his spirit. Yeah. Pigtail girl being Cassidy. Alright, now we get the pigtail girl theories. I don't think she's Cassidy. I don't think she's Cassidy. Because Cassidy has black hair, not her. Couldn't tell you who Cindy is. Isn't that one of the Into the Pit victims? No, Bunny Call. Oh, that's right. Okay. Yeah, no, Bunny Call takes place decades after FNAF 4. That one's debunked. Unless she's a robot, which I wouldn't be surprised. Pigtail Girl being Elizabeth. We'll come back to that. And then Pigtail Girl being an Afton. God, now the plow's outside. This one comes from, like, the line, the color of the font in the I will put you back together text at the end of FNAF 4 is the same color as Pigtail Girl's. I have no idea why. You okay? Yeah, it's the same color, but I don't think it's true. We never hear about another Afton kid like that. I don't think it's Vanessa. Pigtail Girl being Elizabeth. Is there one that says, like, the toys? Toy Girl? No. I don't think so. No. I don't think Elizabeth is the Pigtail Girl, purely because she says, see you at the party, even though it's like 2 days before the bite, when if this was Elizabeth, his sister, she would see him before then. So I would say this one's debunked as well. Yeah, I think Pigtail Girl's just a random kid. No, I did not make the tier list myself. God, I don't have the time to make all these images. But it would be cool. Pink Henry is the theory that Pink Guy is Henry. I would say that's pretty unlikely. Same tier as, like, him being evil. We'll put it next to Baby Scandal. Alright. Pit DCI and Pit MCI. Well, they are different theories. Pit DCI is the theory that the kids Oswald saves would then become the DCI kids. I don't think so. I don't hate the idea, but Return to the Pit, yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, Return to the Pit debunks it, because I think it's Chip. Return to the Pit shows that Chip grows up and has a kid, he has Gabrielle, and then Mike moves off somewhere else. So this one's debunked by Return to the Pit. I have played FNAF World. I only got the clock ending, though. But I love FNAF World. And then Pit MCI. This is the theory that, like, the ghosts Oswald can see sometimes as, like, hallucinations in the realm of the pit are the ghosts of the missing children incident victims. I don't think so. I can't remember, like, the evidence for it. Yeah, I mean, looking at the image, that does kind of look like Cassidy with, like, the survival logbook drawing over. That kind of looks like Susie. I think they're wearing different clothes, though. And then we just don't know what the rest look like. Yeah. To be fair, this girl is wearing a Chica hat. And that does kind of look like a Golden Freddy hat. Interesting. Interesting. I never made that connection. Yeah, that would be Jeremy and Fritz. What? Yeah, and I guess that does look pretty consistent. What's the problems? Okay, it's debatable whether Into the Pit is canon to the game's lore. Shut up! Shut up! Yeah, Susie doesn't look like she does in Fruity Maze. Yeah, I mean, it is weird how these kids are the only thing that, like, flashes forward. Like, they're the only hallucination Oswald sees from the past of 1985, if you get what I'm saying. Like, we don't see ghosts of, like, I don't know, the animatronics on stage. We don't see stuff like that. Plus, there's no Andrew. I think the lack of Andrew kind of really hurts this theory. Yeah, I didn't think of that before. If Andrew was included, first of all, it would be incredible to get an official look at what he looks like. Yeah, no Andrew kind of hurts that a lot. Yeah, I'm going to put this one in... I actually kind of like this one. I'm going to put it bottom of 50-50. I don't hate that. Plush Brooks. No. Plush... Okay. Chat, do we think that the plush kid from FNAF 4 has any significance on the plot? Do we think it's Charlie or Sammy? Like... Why did you take the sun from the UK? Hey. If New York can't have the sun, no one can. That's why. William Afton is actually purple. Why he purple, though? I don't think the plush kid has any significance. Yeah. Agreed, Joey. I think he's just a kid. Same with, what's it called? Pigtail Girl. Plush victim is the theory that Bite victim possesses the plush, the Fredbear plush, after he dies. No, he's probably just in Golden Freddy and the other animatronics. Purple phone. This is the theory that Purple Guy is holding a phone in the Save Them minigame. Obviously, this one plays into Purple Guy being Phone Guy, which was debunked by Scott. And the week before. Puppet Duo. I don't think Bite Victim's in the puppet. I don't think there's anything that directly debunks that, but very unlikely. Alright, now... Puppet What's the cat? Puppet Location 0 is the theory that the puppet was at the first Freddy's. Yeah, I would say that one's confirmed. I think the FNAF 2 Dreams, I think Give Gifts, Give Life, and I think Ticket to Fun all confirm that. I feel like some of these should be moved up to confirmed, but I'm not going to do that. Puppet Possession equals Tears. This one's also confirmed. We literally see that happen in the minigame. It's weird that the movie doesn't follow those same rules. The puppet in the movie has the tears before Charlie possesses it. Whereas in the games, the security puppet literally only gains the tears after Charlie possesses it. And then, flash forward to Security Breach, the puppet mask in the Tangle doesn't have tears. Indicating that Charlie's gone and confirming that theory. Puppet stuff, not debunked, but very unlikely. Princess Quest 3 being the canon ending, I'm gonna put this one in confirmed. Yeah, Help Wanted 2 directly needs the Princess Quest 3 ending to be canon because Glitch Trap is weakened. My god, there's so many confirmed theories today. I love it. Kitty. Kitty. Oh, she's lovely. Princess Quest 4 being the canon ending? I think... Didn't I put Help Trap in confirmed? Yeah. Phase Force canon ending. There's nothing that says Princess Quest 4 can't be canon. Right? We never see Glitch Trap again after this game. Like, chronologically in the timeline. It's just Helpy. But I would say it's close to confirmed. Yeah, we'll just leave it there. Ralph being Old Man Consequences, very unlikely. Where are the other Old Man Consequences theories? Random convicted is the theory that... You know how in, like, the Fnaf 1 newspaper it says someone was convicted for the missing children incident? This theory says it would just be a random person. Where did I put Henry convicted? What are you doing? The cats love that box, I guess. I'm just gonna put this one in bottom 50-50. I don't know. I feel like that's been retconned. Yeah, William wasn't arrested, so someone was. Can you stop? There's candy in there. There's candy in the box she's in. She's just sitting on it, so it's all gonna get crushed. Don't lift it. She's lifting up the folds of the box with her mouth. That is the cutest thing I've ever seen. We need a cat cam. Not the worst idea. Random Mike Dad, I would say this one's pretty confirmed, like 50-50, I would say. Mike's dad doesn't come up at all in the second movie, and I doubt he will in the third. Random MM, that one was debunked as well. Random vent body. This is the theory that the body that was found in the vent and sister location that Hand Unit talks about, it's just a random person. I personally think it's Rory from Didophobia. But I'm going to put it in 50-50 just because the canonicity of the books is a little, you know. But I do like it being Rory. It makes sense for a story. For Rory to have a gory death. Flory, I don't know. Random victim of 87. I don't think so. I'm trying to think if there's anything that confirms it's Jeremy. I think it's just Ralph saying the victim doesn't do anything much these days. Where's my music box? Ah! Mimic attack! It's the puppet. This one's pretty unlikely. I think the game sets it up as Jeremy. You know, Ralph says, we're going to move you to the day shift. So like that, yeah. Reliable encyclopedia. This is the theory that the character encyclopedia is reliable. Is there an unreliable one too? No, for some reason. Why? Chat, do we think the character encyclopedia is reliable? My heart wants to say yes, but I feel like it isn't. It does say some stuff. Like, that's where we get this from. Greg Human. Because the book calls Gregory human. But it does mess up a lot of details. It says Bonbons in FNAF 3. It says Burn Trap is William Afton. It says Tangle is Molten Freddy. Yeah, chat seems to be pretty... Don't get me wrong. I like this book. I do like this book. I think it's great for a newcomer to the franchise. And I do like how it gave us, like, drawings, like official drawings of Bite Victim, Elizabeth, Henry. But it's not perfect. They are making an updated version. It's probably going to have, like, Secret of the Mimic and stuff like that. I hope they fix the issues. And I hope they give Michael and Fredbear pages, because for some reason they're not in the book. But judging by the Ultimate Guide 2.0, I wouldn't say it's likely. Oops. So I think we have to put this one in, like, very unlikely. Remnant Dreamer. This is the theory that Michael has the FNAF 4 nightmares at the same time he works at Fazbear's Fright, and it's also when he writes in the logbook. Because the book says recent dreams, and if you think the logbook is during FNAF 3, then that kind of lines up. This is a theory that needs a lot... It has a lot of pieces that need to build off of each other to complete the puzzle of this theory. Phantom Bonbon. They must have confused, like, the BB laugh with Bonbon, which is so weird. How do you do that? How do I know 90% of the theories by memory? Most of them, I would say, is, like, most of these are pretty common sense. But I also, like, I'm a big part of the theorizing community. Or, no, I'm not a big part of it, but I'm just involved in it a lot. I don't know. This one's... Again, it just needs a lot of pieces to fall into place. So I'm going to put it bottom of 50-50. Remnant Healing. This is the theory that after Michael rots and turns purple after Ennard leaves, the remnant in his body heals him, and he goes back to looking like normal Michael. I don't like that theory. I hate it. I think the consequence of Michael getting scooped should be that he can't live a normal life anymore. He has to fully commit to his mission of finding his father and ending everything. If he goes back to looking like a sexy Michael Afton boy, then that kind of hurts his character arc a lot, in my opinion. It doesn't ruin it, but it doesn't... It makes it worse. Remnant does heal people. We learn that in the books. Mainly Fazbear's Fright. Fazbear Frights and Frailty. Even Eleanor supports that. But I don't think Michael does. Or at least I hope he doesn't. And we'll put that there. Remnant Pit. This is the theory that the ball pit... Oh, what did I say? Wait, what did I say? Skip it back, I don't remember what I said. Oh, I called him sexy, that's right. You sure you don't need to do the gay test again? Okay. I don't know where I was going with that. I think this one's Agony. Where did I put... Is Agony Pit even on here? I would say... Also, you can see the kitty now. Kitty, say hi. Say hi. No, say hi. Kitty. Kitty. Okay, well, she's just gonna stay there. Alright, you know what we're gonna do? We are gonna... Me and her, we're doing this. Alright, Caroline. What do you think of Remnant Pit? What do you think? I know, you hear the snowblower. Oh, you like that? I've never tried that before. She likes that sound. Okay, the more you know. I think it's Agony. I don't think it's Remnant. But they're probably close to the same thing. Hi. Yeah. Hi. You want to say hi? Look up here. Hi. Aw. Look at her. Oh, she likes that. She's purring right now. I don't know if you can hear that. Hi, honey. You want to say the mimic? This is a generational moment. Caroline is meeting the mimic. Yeah, he's reaching his hand out to pet her. Look at that. She is 1.5. Aw, you're just gonna stay? Okay, that works. You'll watch my 6. I like it. I need more cats. You can never have too many cats. I'm just gonna keep this in 50-50. I don't remember where I put Agony Pit. So let me make sure I'm not blocking her. I know you guys are here for her, which is valid. Remnant Plex is the theory that the Mega Pizzaplex is run by Remnant. This is kind of backed up by, like, the Scooper and Ruin. Maybe. I think if this was the case, it's definitely something that suffered from Scott's miscommunication. What do you think? She agrees. She's passed out already. She's the sleepiest cat you'll ever meet. Oh my god. Renner Bully. This is the theory that Principal, I think it's Principal, Renner from the animatronic Apocalypse story is the Freddy Bully from Fnaf 4. I think the only evidence is that, like... Actually, I don't even know what the evidence for this is. Yeah, what's the evidence for this? Mr. Renner wears a Freddy mask. That's... And he's mean. Yeah, I don't know about that. I would say that's pretty unlikely. Obviously, you know, the modern story brought back the Bonnie Bully. But I don't think it's Renner. If anything, I think it's more likely to be Oswald's dad. Have you played Five Nights at Frick Bears 3? I have not. Haven't heard that theory in detail. Yeah, there's not really that much evidence for it. Relative couch is the theory that the person on the couch is just a relative of William Afton. Doesn't necessarily have to be his wife. I think if it's going to be anyone, it's Mrs. Afton, Michael, Henry. I don't think it's just a random relative. As cool as it would be if, like, Aunt Jane was canon to the games, I just don't think that's likely. Mask equals same person is bad logic. True, but that's kind of the same logic for the Bonnie Bully, so I agree, but... Repair Victim? Couldn't tell you what that is. It's the theory that the Bite Victim's soul was split between Fredbear and the spare endo parts. Yeah, I... Say no more, my friend, say no more. Rescue DCI. Okay, this is the theory that the kids we save in the Rescue the Children minigame from Into the Pit are the DCI. The main evidence for this is the music that plays. In the extras menu, it's called Save Them. I don't know. I swear there's something that, like, directly debunks this. Let me look that up. Oh my god, I can't spell. I did believe this for a while, but I just don't anymore. Yeah, Save the Music. Yeah. Yeah, Save Them's been related with the MCI in the week before. Yeah, plus, if it was the DCI, what the hell is this? I don't know. What was I saying? Yeah, Golden Freddy was probably used for the DCI, not Fredbear. Wait, what did I just say? Golden Freddy was probably used for the DCI, not Spring Bonnie, because Spring Bonnie was sealed in the safe room in FNAF 1, the FNAF 1 building. And Save Them shows Spring Bonnie, so it's probably just the missing children incident victims. I mean, not those, the kids that Oswald saves. Michael Dyscalculia is the theory that Michael Afton in the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 movie is unable to do math. He thinks he can kill half the town by morning, when, in the year 2000, the town takes place in Granite Falls, has a little over 3,000 people. That's 15,000 people, 1,500 people in one night. William also can't count. Vanessa can count. She might be a robot or adopted. Oh my god, this is hilarious. Why isn't this on here? That is hilarious. That would go straight into Andrew Pizza tier. I love that so much. Oh, that's hilarious. Anyway, this one's probably very unlikely. Poor guy got an F on his test. That's hilarious. Alright. Retrofit theory. This one says that... Retrofit theory says that the animatronics from the 1985 Freddy's looked exactly the same as the FNAF 1 Freddy's. I would argue this one was confirmed by the week before. So, we're going to put that one close to confirmed. Ralph says, like... What does he say? He says, I'm glad they restored Freddy to his vintage look, which implies that FNAF 1 Freddy is a vintage look, meaning it has to be from 1985. Rockstar MCI is the theory that the Rockstar animatronics are possessed by the missing children incident victims. This one's definitely not true, because the Rockstar animatronics are not required to get the canon ending of the game. Right? If they were possessing the Rockstar animatronics, it would be a necessity. And Henry would mention it, so I'm going to put this one in honestly debunked. Rory Dreamer is the theory that in the FNAF 4 night segments, we are playing as Rory. I think we're Michael seeing through the eyes of Rory. I don't really like that one. Rory MM debunked by 5 Laps at Freddy's. Rory being the vengeful spirit? No. No. Just no. William didn't directly kill Rory. Same logic as Elizabeth being the vengeful spirit, if you ignore the whole gender debate. William didn't directly kill her. He also didn't directly kill Rory. He only directly kills Andrew and Cassidy. Maybe bite victim, but that's... no. Roxy guilty. This is the theory that Roxy killed Monty. Straight into debunked. We know Monty did it. Help Wanted 2 confirms it. That was a TikTok notification. Someone liked my video. Runaway Bro, we're going to put next to BV Runaway, just because they're both pretty likely. Actually, yeah, I mean, this is treating it as a different character, but we're going to put them together as they're the same. God, we're making so much progress. Alright. RWQ Charlie Agony is the theory that Shadow Bonnie was created from Charlie's death. That's also what Shadow Charlie Agony is, but for Shadow Freddy. I don't think so. I think he was created from the DCI because he looks like Shadow Bonnie. So I'm going to put this one in very unlikely. Going to put this one... I'll put this one up in 50-50. I don't think he's Sammy. I don't think he's William. I'll move this one up to 50-50 too. Well, no, if anyone, was probably Shadow Freddy. But that's logic for a different theory. You stopped your Walking Dead for my live? Thank you, Ard. That actually does kind of make me a little... That is very heartwarming. Thank you. Yeah, Monty absolutely killed Bonnie. Same Freddy. This one's pretty... Oh, whoops, I don't remember that one. This one's pretty close to confirmed. It's not confirmed yet, but it's like... Come on. Obviously, that's the same Freddy. They're both in Phaser Blast. They both have a present in their stomach. They have the same damage. And they're both missing their head. It doesn't get more direct than that. Yes, he has Prototype on his foot. But I think that's Steel Wool adding that to Freddy's design. Retconning it, if you will. And yes, the presents are different colors. That might just be a stylistic choice. You can stop crying now? It's enough to make a grown man cry. What's next? Same Scooper? Nah, those are very clearly different. Very, very clearly different. I'm putting that debunked. Sammy CEO, we don't know if Sammy exists in the games. Sammy First, again, we don't know if he exists in the games. Sammy Games, we don't know if he exists in the games. Probably not. Sammy Puppet, I'm going to put that in debunked because we know it's Charlie. I'm not crying, you are. And then Sammy being the Vengeful Spirit, again, highly unlikely. Alright, chat. What year do we think Security Breach takes place in? In my opinion, 2035. Because I think FNAF 3 and FNAF 6 take place in 2023. Right? 2023 to 2035. There's evidence in Security Breach, and Tales from the Pizzaplex backs this up, that the Pizzaplex has been open for a few years. Right? It has to go through all the renovations we see in the books, and there's like a quarterly magazine for like 4.5 years. Meaning it opens in 2030. 7 years between FNAF 6 and the Mega Pizzaplex opening is more than enough time for the indie games to come out, for Ultimate Custom Night to happen too. Mega Pizzaplex needs to get built in that time too, that would take a while. Help Wanted, FNAF AR, and even like the Stitch Right stuff. That probably is canon to some extent in the games. 7 years is a pretty good time period for all that stuff. So I'm a very heavy leaner on 2035. Plus, the calendar lines up with one we see in game. So I'm going to put that in, like, very high up in 50-50. Like, 2020s is just really unrealistic. 2029 has decent evidence, because, like, the calendar lines up. What else? 2038, I don't even know what the evidence for that is. I moved the camera again. I hit the wire that's connected to it. Oh my god. Yeah, what's even the evidence for 2028? God, now we're clumping. The Thor movie. I can still see the key. Is it gonna load? No. Okay. Well, we'll just put that one in. Very unlikely. 2046? Again, what's the evidence for that? Schedule theory. Okay, schedule theory. Chat, do you know what schedule theory is? I feel like this one's a little... I don't know. Not as popular as it should be, I think. This one was created by T-Dreads, who, you know, I'm sure you all know. It says that it places dates, like days of the week, to the events of sister location based on what Michael does during the nights, and lining it up with the maintenance schedule that's in sister location's one of sister location's teaser's source code. I like that part. I think lining up the nights with the schedule we see in the code works perfectly. I believe that 100%. However, schedule theory also says that the Funtime animatronics are possessed by victims of kids who the Funtimes captured during those parties, and that's what makes up, Molten Freddy. I love the first half. I think that's really genius. The second half loses me completely. So I'm going to put this in 50-50. Not because I don't think it's not because I'm debating, oh, it's 50-50, like it could be true, it could not be. No, I think half of this theory is correct. The other half I'm not certain about. What's your opinion on FNAF World? I like FNAF World. Schmidt FNAF 1. I mean, yeah, we see it on the paycheck. I don't know what that. Yeah, obviously. Oh, okay. It's saying that Mike Schmidt is a random night guard. No. No. I would go as far as to say this one's debunked. The survival logbook debunks it. Yeah, schedule theory is like a really smart interpretation of that schedule. The second half is just not it. Scraptrap suit. This is the theory that Scraptrap is like a completely new suit. Yes and no. I can see why you would interpret it that way, but I think Scott intended for it to be the same, just damaged. So I'm going to put this one in 50-50. Alright. Special delivery. It's either in 2020, canon, or not canon. Right off the bat, I'm gonna put not canon and debunked. Right? Security breach directly mentions Lewis from FNAF AR, so that immediately makes it canon, to some extent. So I'm gonna put canon and confirmed. There's no reason for it not to be canon. I know a lot of people don't like special delivery being canon because of the skins, right? They don't want Shamrock Freddy, Clown Springtrap, Ringmaster Foxy to be canon. And I get that. I do. They are silly. But that's kind of the point. The point of FNAF AR is that it's meant to be Fazbear Entertainment squeezing these characters for all their money so that they can build the Mega Pizzaplex, have the funds for it. And I know people also say, oh, you can't get it on the... Also, we're not... Okay. It's been an hour already? Jesus. It does not feel like that. They also say, oh, you can't play it anymore because it's off the App Store, so therefore it can't be canon. I think that's pretty silly logic. I do. That's like saying, oh, I don't know. The books... I know the books aren't canon, but just pretend they are for a second, okay? The books aren't canon because you can't buy them anymore. No. That's not how canon works. You can't go out and watch Star Wars A New Hope in movie theaters anymore, but just because you can't doesn't mean it's not canon to the Star Wars series. So I do think special delivery is canon. And then it taking place in 2020 comes from the emails. The FNAF AR emails in-game are dated 2020. But that's because... I meant you can't buy the books and you can buy them online, but if you were to go into a store, most places aren't gonna have the twisted ones on sale anymore. They're gonna have the newer books. That's what I meant. Special delivery 2020. I don't think so. I think it's very unlikely, just because I think 2023 is when FNAF 3 and 6 take place, so that's kind of impossible. Alright. Shadow's Agony. Oh, we forgot a puppet theory. My bad, my bad. Puppet victim, debunked. Directly debunked by Fnaf 6, I would say. Alright. Also, there's another snowblower. I'm sure you guys can hear that. Yeah, we'll probably get to, like, there and stop. Hi, Folger. We'll probably get to there and stop. So, like, a little less than half. Shadow's Agony. I would argue this one's confirmed by Hide and Seek. Hide and Seek has Shadow Bonnie being an agony entity. You know, when the main protagonist gets angry and tries to rip Shadow Bonnie off, it makes him stronger. Plus, FNAF AR has the Dark Remnant, which is pretty much agony, creating Shadow Bonnie in some way. What was my New Year's resolution? I didn't have one. Make it through the new year. That's all. Shadow Ally. This is the theory that Shadow Freddy is an ally to William Afton. Yes, I think one of Nightmare's voice lines from Ultimate Custom Night, plus combined with Henry saying he set a trap for them, I think that pretty much makes this close to confirmed. Shadow Andrew. This is the theory that Shadow Freddy is Andrew. Nah. No. Probably not. If anything, I would say Shadow Freddy has a higher chance of being Eleanor than he does of being Andrew. Which I'm actually surprised that's not on here. That's a pretty popular interpretation. Shadow Bite is the theory that Shadow Freddy was created by the Bite of 83. I don't hate this one. In fact, I think it's the one I believe right now. Right? Like, yeah. Because I think, I don't know. I'm going to put this in 50-50, actually. I'm not 100% sure, actually. Put it there, I guess. Yeah, it would be weird if Shadow Freddy wasn't an ally to William. Just because they have the same goals. Like, they both say, follow me, and stuff like that. Shadow Cake is the theory that Shadow Freddy is Cake Bear. And not, like, you know, Fredbear or something like that. I don't know. Shadow Cassidy. This one has decent evidence. If you think the princess in Princess Quest is meant to be Cassidy, then she has a shadow form, right? So that does kind of have decent evidence. I don't know if this is saying that Cassidy is purely Shadow Freddy, or if she's just, like, part of him. So I'm gonna put that in very unlikely, just because I'm not 100% sure. Shadow Charlie Agony. This one I'll put in 50-50, just because, again, it's a Midnight Motorist theory that kind of relies on the footprints, which is still heavily debated. Shadow Employee is the theory that the Shadow animatronics are the spirits of the employees who died inside the Springlock suits. Have 6 little chicken nuggets or 6 little chickens? 6 chicken nuggets. Because McDonald's does sound pretty good right now. I would say this one's very unlikely. I don't think it's debunked, but very unlikely. Shadow Hitchhiker is the theory that Shadow Freddy, so Nightmare, like, attaches himself to people, specifically Michael, to give him the nightmares. I mean, I do believe Nightmare's behind them, but I just don't know if he's, like, attaching himself to other people. Unless I have this theory wrong, which is why I'm looking it up. I have to wiki. Jeez. Okay, I don't know why it's not showing up. Goodbye, Joey. Thank you for showing up. Appreciate it. Shadow Lefty is the theory that Lefty is, like, based off of Shadow Freddy, I think. Well, yo, where is the FNAF wiki? Why can't we find these? Okay, we're going to use AI for this. Usually refers to theories connecting Lefty to Shadow Freddy. I mean, they're both black. That's literally it. Plus, maybe they have a connection to Charlie. Pretty unlikely. Shadow MCI. If Shadow Freddy isn't born from the bite, I think he's born from the MCI. I think it's one of those two. The reason I lean more towards the bite, though, is because of Pit Bonnie. I think Pit Bonnie could come from the MCI's agony, because he is an agony creature. But that gets confusing, because, like, maybe he's just Andrew's agony because of Into the Pit's voice lines for Pit Bonnie. I don't know. Oops. Yeah, Shadow Freddy is definitely Nightmare. In FNAF 4's game files, Nightmare, the night where you face off against Nightmare in, like, the extras menu is called Shadow Freddy. Plus, Nightmare's voice lines from Ultimate Custom Night of, like, I am your wickedness. No, that's Nightmare Freddy. Nightmare's voice lines support him being Shadow Freddy. Shadow MM, again, this is another popular Midnight Motorist theory. So we're going to put this in... We're going to put it with the rest of Midnight Motorist. Because we are undivisive. Springtrap X Bernie Bear. What a cute couple. We're breaking up. Sometimes I'll just be saying stuff. Shadow Memento. Couldn't tell you what that one means. Hang on. Dude, where are these? Where? So it's saying that Shadow Freddy is like Glitch Trap and that they're both made up of memories. Shadow Mimic. I'm assuming that's the theory that this guy... Also, we're not in full screen anymore, are we? Okay. It's the theory that this guy is, I guess, the Shadow animatronics? I've never heard of that one. The Mimic is possessed by a Shadow animatronic. No. No. The Nightmare connections are interesting, but I think that's more so just agony, more than, like, possession. So I'm going to put that in very unlikely. A lot of these Shadow theories are pretty unlikely. Just because... That's mainly because the Shadow animatronics are still so mysterious, right? Shadow Nightmare, I would say this one's close to confirmed. Yeah, Fulgur, you're absolutely right. If Shadow Freddy is born from the bite, then that would make sense why he looks like Nightmare Fredbear. Yeah, you're completely right about that. And not say, like, I don't know, Nightmare Freddy. So I do get that. Shadow Physical is the theory that Shadow Freddy is a physical being. Probably Shadow Bonnie as well. No, I would say there's not really any evidence to support that. Like, we don't see him interact with anything, really. Plus, I swear one of his voice lines in Ultimate Custom Night is saying, like, hey, I'm real now, homie. Oh, yeah, that's what I meant to spell. Yeah, like... Okay, there's not really anything that suggests that he's physical or not, but, I mean... I don't think he is. I don't think the shadows are physical. But to be fair, if they're made out of agony, then they probably are, because Eleanor is physical. Same with Pit Bonnie. So I might just move that up to 50-50. More fun Faz facts coming soon from Ard. My god, there's so many Shatter theories. But of course, they don't have Shatter Beth. Oh wait, they do. Never mind. That theory's goated. We'll get to that. Shadow Plush. This is the theory that Shadow Freddy is the one who's talking to Bite Victim inside the Fredbear plush. I don't know about that. That kind of requires Charlie first to be true, which I don't really know. To be fair, it would make sense. Like, he would be siphoning Bite Victim's agony, so that part does make sense. But I just don't think it's really that true. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it's like Golden Freddy. I think Shadow Freddy, like Golden Freddy, I think there is a physical body there, but they can obviously manifest as like a ghost. Like FNAF 2, Golden Freddy obviously doesn't turn into a giant floating head. That's probably just a, an apparition or a manifestation of the suit. Yeah, William Afton is definitely the one who said, "I will put you back together." I don't think it's like Shadow Freddy. Yeah. Shadows Separate is saying that Shadow Bonnie and Shadow Freddy are not the same. I agree. I don't have any reason to disagree. They seem to have different goals. Like, Shadow Freddy just wants to help William, whereas Shadow Bonnie wants to help the souls. Yeah, I would say that's pretty confirmed. We're close. Shadow Victim, I'm going to put that one next to Shadow Cassidy. For no reason. Shatter Beth. This is the theory that Elizabeth's spirit is shattered among the fun times, right? That means, I just spit on my desk, when Michael says, "I put her back together, just like you asked me to," that's because she is shattered among the fun times. I mean, that lines up, because, like, if Bite Victim was shattered and William said, "I will put you back together," it makes sense why he would say the same for Elizabeth. However, I think Molten MCI kind of debunks this. Same with just Ennard in general, like that transition from Ennard into Molten Freddy. The reason why, presumably one of the reasons why Baby broke off from Ennard has to do with Elizabeth, like her being an actual spirit and not a fragmented spirit like the missing children are inside of the Fun Times. So I like this idea, but I don't think it's all that likely. It's cool for like an AU or something, but I don't think it's canon. I dropped my battery onto my Chromebook and now it's Michael Jackson leaning. Congratulations, party hat. Trying to think of where like a good stopping point would be. We might stop sooner than there. Maybe like after Tales Parallels or something. I don't know. Shatter Essence. Don't know what that is. Okay. Okay. Prior to FNAF 4, Freddy's band was used at Fredbear's Family Diners. After they were moved to Freddy's, the essence of them still remained at Fredbear's because of Charlie's memories. When Bite Victim died, his soul possessed Fredbear and connected him to the lingering essence of the Freddy's band. This caused Bite Victim to possess all 5 of those guys. Hell no, you're my streaking Jigsaw. That is... that's garbage. That is terrible. I hate that so much. It's not debunked, but, like, that's so bad. Ugh. Shadow Freddy definitely hates Afton now by looking at Nightmare's lines. Yeah. To be fair, though, I don't know how reliable that kind of stuff is, because it's coming from Ultimate Custom Night, where it's like the memories of the characters being twisted by the vengeful spirit. Because, like, realistically, Scrap Baby wouldn't attack William Afton, right? She wants to please him in FNAF 6. So I don't know how reliable the hatred of those characters are. Yeah. Did you know we found a bear with a hat and a bow tie and we named it Freddy Fazbear? What we found. I don't know what I meant by that. Shatter masks, I'm assuming, is the theory that Bite Victim's spirit is shattered among the masks of the characters. Nah. Oh. Yeah, or Baby. Baby probably wouldn't attack William either. Shatter memory. I might know what that one is. It sounds similar to Shatter Victim. Dude, why are all the Shatter theories so long? I mean, it is a complicated process, so never mind. It's the theory that Bite Victim's memories lingered after his death, and his soul was preserved inside Fredbear. Eventually, these memories came in contact with the animatronics, these guys in the puppet. They were attached to the characters, which caused Bite Victim's soul to be split among them. Yeah, it's a variation of Shatter Victim. I believe part of this... Here's how I interpret Shatter Victim. Right? I think Bite Victim gets bit. His spirit presides inside Fredbear. Then, once Give Gifts, Give Lives takes place, Charlie, in an attempt to free the souls by giving them Happiest Day, she takes Bite Victim's spirit, his remnant or whatever, shatters it among the spirits to try to get everyone to move on, right? She thinks, oh, well, I can get Bite Victim to move on by doing Happiest Day, by piecing his memories together. Why can't I just do the same for the rest of them if I give them a piece of his spirit? And I think that's what Give Gifts, Give Life is. I think the life that's being given is Bite Victim's spirit among the 5 spirits so that Happiest Day can eventually happen. Once, like, all the pieces have been put back together, which is Molten Freddy, kind of. I don't know. Yeah, it's complicated, but Shatter Victim is a very complicated theory by nature. I'll put this one towards, like, the top of Very Unlikely, just because I do believe in Shatter Victim, like, as it is. Yeah. Shattered Trilogy, I have 0 idea what that is. No, we don't want Shattered Victim. I don't know what that is. I'm just going to put it in Very Unlikely. Baby, Springtrap, and Nut Trap wouldn't attack Afton. Yeah. Ultimate Custom Night is probably just the vengeful spirit manipulating memories of these characters to attack William. Shatter Vessel. I think that's saying that Bite Victim's spirit is shattered among the plushies, which are placed inside the animatronics. Not that great. Shatter Victim 2.0. I didn't even know there was a 2.0 to begin with. Okay. While Bite Victim was alive, he shed his emotions and memories onto the animatronics, tying his soul to them. When he eventually died, because he imprinted on all of them, his soul was split between them. No, I don't think so. The whole how of Shatter Victim, like how he attaches his spirit to the animatronics, is very weird. And honestly, I think my take is pretty accurate. I think that's pretty true. Do you think we all have brain rot? I think everyone has brain rot. I think there's varying levels of it, but I think we all have brain rot in some capacity. Shared past. This is the theory that Elizabeth and Vanessa have a similar past, but I'm just going to look that up to be sure. Shared Afton past. It's the tapes in Security Breach represent William, Elizabeth, and Mrs. Afton's story. Wait, am I just stupid? I thought this theory was like saying that Vanessa is using Elizabeth's backstory. Yeah, I don't know about that. Yeah, I don't know. That theory's a little weird. Do you think Afton has said 6-7? I do. Well, you see, Fazbear Entertainment Board of Directors, I was thinking we could introduce some new characters to the Fazbear Band. Well, that's great, Mr. Afton. I think that would bring the band to what, like 5 or 6 new characters? No, 6 or 7 new characters. Shadow Freddy spawned after the bite, while Shadow Bonnie spawned after the missing children incident. Shadow Freddy became Nightmare, while Shadow Bonnie became Pit Spring Bonnie. I would agree, but I think FNAF AR takes place after Into the Pit. No, yeah. FNAF AR is after Into the Pit, and at the end of Into the Pit, Spring Bonnie dies. Pit Bonnie's agony just dies. I think. Unless he's Eleanor, which I thought for a while, but... yeah, or William was counting with Michael. And, all right, Michael, let's go over your numbers one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Don't ask why I said it like that. It'll make sense one day, my son. It's peak. Yeah, shared past, I would put this in, like, very unlikely. I do think Vanessa's backstory is her own. Because I think she's an Afton in the games. Wow! Sing and Show 30s. I do not think Fredbear's Sing and Show existed in the 30s. I think Secret of the Mimic just shows that it existed in, like, the late 60s. Alright, now we get sister locations years. This might be where we stop. We might stop after sister location during 3. Chat, when do we think sister location takes place? I think we can immediately rule out 85. That makes 0 sense, right? Even if you say, like, oh, like, no, just looking at Michael's age, he's probably like 12 to 14 in 1983 during the bite. 2 years after that, he wouldn't be old enough to get a job as, like, a technician. So we can definitely rule out 85. 87, kind of the same logic. Again, I don't think sister location happens before FNAF 2 and 1. So I'm going to put that in very unlikely. Same with... I guess that's it. Alright. 1995, I think that says. Or does that say 3? I think that's 3. No. I think that's 3. I don't know why they don't have 95 and 3. Oops. Yeah, that one's 93. Okay. No to that one. Same with 87. I did think sister location took place in 1995. What's it called? I did think that's when it took place because of the books. Obviously, sister location and William getting springlocked have to take place, like, roughly the same time. And in the books, like the trilogy, William gets springlocked in 1995. So I thought, that probably works in the games too. But now that I think Vanessa is an Afton, just looking at the timeline of when she would have to be born, I think you kind of have to push that stuff to 2015. So I'm going to put those there. I'll put 50-50 for 98 plus just in case, but I do believe 2015 is more likely. probably like there. What do you hear in the background? Probably my vents. Sister location, bunker mound. Okay, I don't hate this theory. I do 100% believe, without a shadow of a doubt, that the sister location bunker is underneath the Midnight Motorist house. I think Curse of Dreadbear and Secret of the Mimic make that pretty clear. However, I don't think that's what the mound is. The guidebooks call the mound a grave, and I think that is pretty accurate. So I'm going to put this one in 50-50, but like towards the bottom. Just because... No, I'll put it very unlikely. Just because it is a possibility. That would make sense. But I don't know. There were better ways for Scott to convey that, I think. Plus, in Room for One More, the sister location bunker is like under a construction site. So I feel like that would have been an easy way to show that, other than just a random mound. There might be an animatronic in my vents. Okay. Sister location during 3, I would say this one's debunked, just because I said so. I mean, like, there's not really anything pointing against that, I guess. This theory would work a lot with Fnaf 3 in 2015, because, like I just said, I think Sister Location is in 2015, and then Fnaf 3 being in 2015, so, I mean, that does kind of work. I do kind of like that. But it wouldn't really... I don't know. I feel like William Afton was in the safe room for longer than like a few months. Even the movie has it as a year. Same with the books. So that really doesn't work all too well. Yeah, plus if it's during FNAF 3, Michael saying, "I'm going to come find you," wouldn't work at all because he already would have found him during night 2 of FNAF 3. So I'm actually going to put that like debunked. Just because that doesn't work at all. Never mind. All right. Secret of the Mimic Loop will be our last theory. I think we should be able to get through the rest of these in one stream. Might have to, like, speed through some of them, and hope and pray that they don't add more theories. Although, I don't know. I could still go on for a little bit longer, but I know you guys are leaving. Have to leave. What do you guys think? Should we keep going for a little bit? Maybe just, like, finish off this row or something? Maybe stop here just so that gets cut off. Anyway, Secret of the Mimic Loop I think is a dumb theory. Pit Bonnie might have died, but that could have been the outer shell while Shadow Bonnie was still alive. I did think that. I did believe that, Fulgur, when I thought Pit Bonnie was Eleanor. And in fact, I still might believe that, to be honest. Yeah, Secret of the Mimic Loop will put... probably, like, really unlikely. There's no way. And the evidence for that is pretty flimsy. Alright, well, I'm seeing both opinions in the chat, so we'll do 2 more. We'll do 2 more. Spare guards is the theory that the guards were stuffed into, like, spare Freddy suits, I think? No, okay. Before FNAF 1, 7 night guards were killed and stuffed into suits. And then they possessed the head scene in backstage. No, this theory completely misinterprets what agony is. The FNAF 1 building and all the weird stuff that happens in it, like the posters changing, is pretty clearly just the agony of the children. So I would say that's very unlikely. Spark Victim. I've heard of this one. Yeah, okay. This is... Bite victim's death is what motivates William Afton. Is there one for Charlie? Like, I think it's both, possibly. Like, maybe William learned about remnant and agony from Bite victim's death, but... what's it called? He learned about possession from Charlie. So I'm going to put this in 50-50, to be honest. Any theory that tries to give William motivation, I do like. Obviously not like Will Care, though. Also, I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going. We won't go for too much longer, but like I still got some stuff in me, some energy. Split line games, I hate this. This is the theory that after FNAF 6, there's a splitting point where in one universe it goes, help wanted, AR, security breach. And then in the other universe, that's when Fazbear Frights happens. When I think the reality is they're the same timeline. Alright, I said it. Split Teller? I don't know what that one is. After the events of the Storyteller, and while it was being taken down, it was split into two entities, being Tangle and the Network, which is the Mimic 1 program in control of the Pizzaplex. No, I think the Storyteller is a lot less important than people think it is. I don't think it's that important. And I think Glitchtrap is clearly in control of the Mega Pizzaplex during the events of Security Breach. So this one's pretty unlikely. Spring Footprints. This leads, the image is showing, a Midnight Motorist runaway victim, so I'm going to put that one in debunked, Princess Avatar, this is another one we skipped accidentally. Actually, there weren't really a lot of princess theories, unless I did those last stream. Like, I swear we did Princess Cassidy. Are there really not princess theories in here? Other than that one? That is silly. There's no way we didn't do any Princess Quest theories. I guess not. That is silly. How okay. This is definitely going to get updated soon. Yeah, I do think Sister Location is where Afton experimented with, like, Remnant and Agony and stuff. Dropped another battery on your Chromebook? Party hat, what are you doing? No, I was actually thinking about this earlier today. I think the princess could be. I'm not fully believing in this theory yet. But I think it's possible that the princess is M1, aka F10N4, mimicking Golden Freddy / Cassidy. M2, Glitchtrap. Glitchtrap is pretty clearly M2 with the memories and agony of William Afton's victims. That's what makes Glitchtrap. The princess, and Dreadbear too, I think, is M1 being fed the information of Golden Freddy / Cassidy from Fazbear Entertainment to directly kill Glitchtrap. I think that's what the point of Curse of Dreadbear is. I think Curse of Dreadbear is Fazbear Entertainment trying to kill Glitchtrap, to just stop him. Oh my god, Party Hat, thank you for putting that image in my head. Me giving birth to Springtrap. I don't think the princess... Obviously, the princess is an avatar in, like, Help Wanted 2, kind of. But this one's literally talking about the princess has no identity, and it's just whoever's playing at the moment. I don't think that's true. I think it's a digital manifestation, recreation of Cassidy. And I also don't think she's Vanessa. I think the princess being Vanessa, I think is the more popular opinion than her being Cassidy. Which... I want to make a video on that, on the Princess and Dreadbear being M1, and just explain it some more. But that kind of requires me to finish my Edwin video, which I'm kind of bad at. Yeah, we'll put that there. It's not the worst theory, obviously. There are much, much worse. But I don't believe it. I'm trying to think, like, do we realistically think we could get all of this done in one stream? Because what if they add more theories? Party Hat, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Party Hat, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm trying to think, like, because if they add more theories, like another row, I don't know. I don't know. Chat, what do we think? Do you think we can get this done in one stream? The next stream, obviously. Not today. Spring Suit DCI, I'm going to put in, like, very unlikely, just because Spring Bonnie was sealed in the safe room. Yeah. When's your birthday? Not for another 5 months and 24 days. Springtrap MCI. What the heck is that? That the souls of the MCI victims attach themselves to Springtrap to keep them alive. No. No. No, I don't think that's true. If anything, it was like Cassidy or Andrew who attached themselves to Springtrap to keep them alive, not the entirety of the missing children incident victims. Yeah, it's just going to be an endless loop. They keep adding theories, and we're never going to be able to finish this. Alright, staff times, I think this is... I'm going to put this in debunked. I don't know where they're getting this theory from. The Stafton-Bot family is very clearly the Afton family. I would go as so far as to say that's confirmed. I don't know how you can think that's something else. Stage 01 first is the theory that the Stage 01 minigame is trying to show the first victim. No. Maybe. No. Now that Charlie Fredbear's has been debunked, I think this is pretty unlikely. I think it's just memory warping agony shenanigans. Summer calls is the theory that the FNAF 2 phone calls take place in the summer. Yes, June 29th, Howard. Had to make you work for that. I don't know. Where did I put the phone calls for FNAF 2? I think they're November. But I don't know where I put that theory on here. I don't know. I do think FNAF 2 takes place in November. Even though Phone Guy says, welcome to your new summer job. I think that's just Scott using the term summer job as, like, you know, temporary, part-time maybe. So I'll just put that very unlikely. Susie first, I think this one is pretty unlikely. It's, like, it relies on Charlie being killed after the MCI, which is already a theory I don't like. Oh god, Shadow BB or Shadow Puppet? Dude, I have no idea what those guys are. Like, Shadow Puppet, you can maybe make the argument it's from Charlie's death. But Shadow BB, I have no idea. Shadow Mangle, you could even say comes from the Bite of 87. But I have no idea what Shadow BB is. Susie being the vengeful spirit, dead on arrival. Tales fiction. I'm going to put this one with Fright's fiction. It makes absolutely zero sense why Fazbear Entertainment would make... I'll just put it with Games Fiction, I guess. I guess I can't find Fright's fiction. It makes no sense why Fazbear Entertainment would make stories about their new establishment showing people dying there. That makes zero sense. You could say the same about, like, the indie games, but those are different, I think. Yeah, those are completely different. Oh, Tales games. Tales games, Tales games, Tales games. Obviously, Tales games isn't true anymore. I don't know what Tales games Plus is, though. Hold on, what Tales games Plus? It's the theory that all the stories within Tales from the Pizzaplex still take place within the game continuity, with the exception of the Mimic, which is a fabricated memory of the Mimic. Hey, I believe this one. This is actually a theory I believe. Okay. Tales games obviously can't be true, because the Mimic is part of Tales and does not happen in the game's timeline. This, I do think, is the case, right? In Secret of the Mimic, there's that note. I'm going to pull it up, actually. If Google loads. Yeah. There's this note. Memory error. Detail report. We were expecting. There were complications. Consciousness was lost for an undetermined time. Once I woke, we were all together and happy. A family. But something was different. I felt wrong somehow. Was I me? I would never sleep again. Corrupted file suspected. Please advise. This second part about, like, I would never sleep again is kind of weird. That does kind of tie into Moon.exe, where we play as we play as M2. So that does kind of hurt what I'm about to say. But consciousness was lost for an undetermined time. We were all together and happy, a family. That seems to be talking about the original Mimic story, where Fiona died in childbirth and they weren't a happy family. But when this person awoke, this person who's a robot, so meaning it kind of has to be M1, Fiona, when they awoke, they were all together, happy, a family. That's pretty... I think that's talking about the Mimic. And I know they're going to bring that up in the evidence, yeah. I don't know why they say the storyteller. There's not really anything that talks about, like, the storyteller here. I had a strange sensation yesterday. It was like deja vu. Like certain events had happened 5 or 6 times before. I'm not gonna lie, I saw 6 and thought I was gonna say 6, 7. But then that sensation was gone and I got back to work. Sometimes I wonder if something is wrong with me, but I don't have time for those questions. These 2 notes are very specific, very strange. There's no reason for these to be in the game if it's not hinting at something bigger. I think that's the Mimic. I think that's the Mimic story. Curious what the problems with this are. Edwin's final... Okay, this is saying, like, Edwin dies or something. Yeah. The biggest issue with this is the storyteller, where Edwin says Fiona died in childbirth. I think you could explain that, though, as Scott just not telling the writer of that story the detail of how Fiona actually died. I know the storyteller came out before the Mimic, but again, I think Scott knew that he wanted... I think Scott knew Secret of the Mimic's story in mind, and he didn't want to give away the twist that Fiona hadn't actually died in childbirth. Yeah, that's really the biggest issue. And the only issue, honestly. Shadow BB could be like Nightmare BB, Shadow Mangle could be Nightmare Mangle, and Shadow Puppet being Nightmare Puppet. Yeah, but, like, this doesn't really talk about their origins. But I do see what you mean. I'm going to put Tales games in debunked. But Tales games Plus, I'm going to put in 50-50. See, I wish we had a tier that was like, I believe this, even if it's not confirmed. Because that one would go straight there. I'll move it down a little, though. Yeah, I really like that explanation. And then Tales Parallels, I'll put in very unlikely, just because my bias towards the books. Alright, now I think we're in a much better stopping place. Tails reboot, I'm going to put in 50-50 just because it's possible, but not likely. Now we're at a good stopping point. This we can definitely get done in one stream, I think. Maybe. Tangle Teller I'm going to put in very unlikely, because I don't think that's... I think Tangle is Agony. 2 receivers is also very unlikely. Yeah. This one I'm going to put in close to confirmed. Toy Chica is William Often. I know, I keep saying I'm going to end stream. I don't know why I'm still... I said that like 3 times already. Yeah, unless they add new theories. Which, like, even if they do, I feel like it would just add, like, there and then, like, maybe, like, there. So not impossible. Yeah, not impossible. We'll see. Hopefully they don't add more theories. Yeah, that's a lot of William theories, my god. But yeah. That's it for this stream. I gotta stop myself. I could keep going for another, like, 20 minutes. And no one wants that. Alright. Let me show the cat. We did good work, Caroline. She's passed out. She's snoozed. In the Flesh Bernie Bear edition. That's a good sign we got in stream. Thank you guys so much for showing up. It does not feel like we've been going for 2 hours. It feels like an hour and a half, maybe. You should come back after the next 10 years. Maybe not 10 years, but maybe like a few months. Maybe like after the next big game. Hair, stop. Yeah. We had good work today, chat. Appreciate you guys for coming out. Let me just pull up the live stream so I can make sure to end it properly. Hopefully, next stream will be the end. Unless they add like 50 more theories, which I wouldn't be surprised. You know, the tier list was updated last 2 days ago. So there's a good chance we beat them and we finish this tier list before they can add more. In which case, we're not coming back for more. Yeah. Party hat, that is the best idea I've heard all day. Bernie Bear approved. Alright. Caroline, you got any final words? She doesn't. Alright, chat. Thank you for showing up. Appreciate it, and I will see you probably later this week. A chopped ass hairline, my god. I will see you later this week to hopefully finish this tier list. Until then, I don't know. I was going to say something, but I don't want to say it anymore. Bye, guys. See you later. Meow.